name is Talia. Welcome to Talia Nerds Out. Not my normal location, but this is only supposed to be a really quick video, just because it's going to be a little while before I really do much on booktube. That includes watching videos and commenting, simply because we are now in the Christie's Missing Readathon. This is one of my favorite readathons. I have taken part, I think this is the third year that I have taken part in it. I'm not one of the hosts or anything like that. I just really enjoy this readathon. I have been a huge Agatha Christie fan. I started reading when I was about 10, 11 years old, and I have been reading and rereading her works ever since. So that's a good over 25 years, getting close to 30 years, a few years off of 30 years of reading Agatha Christie, which is crazy. But so I look forward to this read along every year. It takes place from December 3rd through December 14th, ends on the 15th, because that is the day that she was found after her famous disappearance. And theories abound as to what happened to her. If you are familiar with Agatha Christie's story, this is the period of time that she realized that her first husband was essentially leaving her for another woman, and he did leave her. So she just disappeared for that period of time, and people had no idea what happened to her. There was a huge woman hunt. Arthur Conan Doyle went to mediums to try to figure out what happened to her. Dorothy L. Sayers showed up at the search parties because, hey, real life mystery about someone that they knew. Conan Doyle apparently told people that the spirit said that she was still alive. And from what I understand, she never gave a straightforward answer as to what occurred. I believe that the family line might have been at the time that she had lost her memory. It was mostly meant to spare her husband embarrassment, I believe, even though he did end up, leaving her. But yeah, I do think it was her way of trying to just get away. She was overwhelmed and a very private person besides, and she just wanted to deal with what was going to become a very public issue in private. I think she just kind of broke a little bit. I don't think she lost her memory, but I do think that there was just a lot of pain. And honestly, I think that she did deserve a little bit of privacy to try to deal with what was really a very traumatic situation. It's just sad that the way things happened, that it ended up becoming such a big dramatic issue because of the way she disappeared. Anyway, there are 3 teams for this year's long. Each year there's different prompts. Each year there's different teams. Last year I don't think there were any teams even. The first year I took part, I was part of Team Superintendent Battle. And this year there is no Team Superintendent Battle, so I'm part of Team Ariadne Oliver. And thus far I have read I believe it's called The Mystery of the Blue Jar. It's a short story, quite short. And then the other one is Dead Man's Mirror, which is a 100-page, sorry, this is warm, which is an 100-page short story, which seems almost more like a novella to me, but it was put down as a short story, so that's what I counted it for in the prompts. I've also finished the 3rd mystery in this Murder in the Manor book. I believe it's the first time I've actually read this particular, I don't think it's the first time, because I've seen Remember It once I got to the end, like little pieces of it kind of were niggling at the back of my head. I think I've only read it once. It's called Murder at Hazelmoor. That's one title for it. The other title is the Sittaford. Is it called Sittaford Mystery? I don't have the other title with me, and my Agatha Christie book is in the other room. Give me 1 second. So I got my handy dandy Checkerbeat Checklist Agatha Christie book. Use it all the time. So it is the Sittaford Mystery. That's the main title in here. It's also known as Murder at Hazelmoor. I want to say that the Sittaford Mystery is probably the American title, but I'm not completely sure. They don't state in here which title is from which publisher. They just give me the alternate title. And they said it's 250 pages approximately. My copy is more than that. Actually, maybe not. Let's see. Yeah, my copy is more than that. My copy is 275, but it says approximately, so it all depends on the size of the text or whatever. And what I like about this particular collection is that it actually renumbers each book once it gets to it. So the Seven Dials mystery is right before this one in this collection. Like I said, this is a collection, Murder in the Manor. So you have the Mystery of Chimneys, you have the Seven Dials mystery, and then you have the Murder at Hazelmoor. So once you finish the Seven Dials, it restarts at 1 once you start the Murder at Hazelmoor, which is really convenient. Then I don't have to go and mark when the chapter begin or when the book begins, and then do percentages based off of that. A lot less mathing. So I finished this one, which has gotten me really off to a good start. I'm a bit competitive when it comes to this read-along, so I'm really not going to be reading anything else until this along is over. I actually got ahead in I'm taking part in Instagram in a read-along that people are doing for Persuasion. It's supposed to end, I think, by the end of December. But I went ahead and I read not only this week's intended readings, but next week's intended readings. So that way I don't have to worry about Persuasion during this period of time. I can just focus on Agatha Christie. I am going to also stamp my library card because there we go. Finished in less than 24 hours, which is about my normal for an Agatha Christie. On a good day, I can finish more than one actual novel, but I was really tired today after my To Kill a Mockingbird book club. And also after that, my mom and I did, so I have my To Kill a Mockingbird book club that I do with some YouTube people. So connected to a whole different channel that they aren't even booktubers. They just happen to want to do To Kill a Mockingbird as a book club. So I did that with them earlier today. And then after that, my mom and I started reading again, but we started reading The Adventure of the Christmas Pudding. This is a beautiful copy of this book. We're only going to be reading the first story, which really, it's counted as a short story, but really should be considered a novella. Well, maybe not quite a novella. I guess it's only 50 pages. I think it's only 50. Hang on. Yeah, I think it's like 53 pages. So, yeah. So it's about half the length of the other one that was considered a short story. So I guess that this would be considered a short story. This is a book of short stories, but this is the only one within the collection that is Christmassy. So my mom and I are going to read the first one together. We've already read half of it today. Tomorrow we'll finish it up. What we do is we take turns reading, which is something different than what my book club for To Kill a Mockingbird is doing. We are rather, following along while the person running the book club, she does the reading aloud, and then we discuss. And we will sometimes stop at portions, and then we'll discuss then. What my mom and I are doing is when there are breaks in the text, a different reader takes over. I think we switched readers 2 times. I started off reading, then she read, and then I finished for today. So tomorrow we will finish this off, and then we'll probably start, sorry, my hair is getting stuck on my glasses. There we go. Then we'll probably start Hercule Poirot's Christmas, although we have the one that is called A Holiday for Murder. And this one, just what Checkerby Checklist says about it is that it was written in 1938. It's approximately 251 pages. We'll see how long our version is. And my mom and I both have the same copy. Hers is coming in any day now. And it has 3 different titles. Hercule Poirot's Christmas, which is the first title I read it under. And it was my first ever Agatha Christie book that I read, almost 30 years ago. And then the other title is Murder for Christmas. And the other one that I actually have now and that my mom will be getting is A Holiday for Murder, which makes it count for the first challenge in this readathon, which is you had to have murder in the title. And not all the books have to work for that. There's different challenges. There is a StoryGraph challenge. The hosts of this read-along are, I think it's, I'm not going to remember everyone's name. I know it's Naomi, Rachel, and Berna. And I will try to remember to put their information in the description below. Then for another part of the challenge, it's been a while since I've read Spider's Web. I have always enjoyed this. This is going to sit in the part of the challenge where it says either short story or play. I've done a couple of short stories, reading a third one, and this one will be under play. It's adapted as a novel by Charles Osborne. And you can tell that this was a play because all the action basically takes place in just a few rooms. And I can see how it would have been very convenient as a play because of it. Not a whole lot of scene changes, and any scene changes there are can be very easily made from walking to one place to another. It doesn't feel like you're making big jumps. So just very well set up for a play. I have read several of her plays that Charles Osborne has adapted to novels. I haven't yet read I started Black Coffee, but I need to probably give it another chance. I didn't like someone else writing Poirot in the narrative. It felt weird having someone else write Poirot. I know that she wrote the original play, but it just felt weird. Later on, I'll try to give Black Coffee another chance. But I've read Spider's Web. I've read The Unexpected Guest. I thought there was one other one. Anyway, I really enjoy Spider's Web. I accidentally got a large print version. So I guess I can hold this all the way out. Actually, I can't hold it at arm's length away and read it. That's hilarious. Okay, so this will be the one I'll read when my eyes start getting tired. And I can just have it as far back as I want at my desk. So, Spider's Web. And let's see what Checkerby Checklist says about it. Let's see. It might not have a whole lot because this is one of her plays. Because this is mostly her books. Screen adaptations. Let's see. Spider's Web, another original play by Christie, was written at the request of British actress Margaret Lockwood, who played the part of Clarissa when the play opened in 1954. So that is everything that I have extra for Spider's Web. Now I have a bunch of other books pulled out that I'm going to read that are Christie's. I'm thinking Murder on the Links. It's been a while since I've reread that one. I'm thinking maybe Death on the Nile. That's another longtime favorite, although I don't know. I feel like that one's kind of in my memory pretty strongly. I'm going to be reading Murder on the Vicarage because that one is our group read. I want to try to read again Sad Cypress. I've only read Sad Cypress once, so I think I might reread that one. Maybe also Sparkling Cyanide. Oh, I think Sparkling Cyanide is that one a play as well? No, I don't think so. I think that's a Colonel Race, actually. Let's see, Sparkling Cyanide. Okay, yeah, okay, that isn't a play. It's 1945, set in England in the 1940s, approximately 160 pages. Also known as Remember Death. And, well, it doesn't say here, but I could have sworn that Colonel Race is in it. That's what I seem to remember when I read it last time. That's another one I've only read once. I also kind of want to read, I have only read The Secret Adversary for Tommy Tuppence and then parts of their short stories. I kind of want to read the next one in their series, which is N or M. I've been kind of resistant to reading them as they age, but my mom read N and M and she said it was pretty good. She also likes a little bit of the more offbeat ones. She's currently enjoying Destination Unknown, which I'm actually going to reread. Also known as So Many Steps to Death. Let's see, Destination Unknown. I just want to give you information about that one. That was one I really enjoyed as a kid. It's because it's kind of a spy thriller type thing. Okay, so Destination Unknown. Yeah, So Many Steps to Death is the other title. In the, I think it's called Agatha Christie International, is the collection I have it in, I want to say. And that one is actually the So Many Steps to Death title. And that will fall under the Rita and Agatha Christie abroad kind of book. Make sure it's outside of England. And it takes place in England and Morocco, and quite a bit of it is out of country. I think most of it is out of country, actually. So it's been a very long time since I've read Destination Unknown. And I'm going to be kind of sort of reading with my mom. We'll just be happening to read it around the same time period. I think she's going to really enjoy it as she continues, just because it is a bit, it's in that kind of thriller area, or the kind of spy-y, not really mystery-y books that Agatha Christie's written. She has a few like that. Destination Unknown is one. The Man in the Brown Suit is another one. All the Tommy and Tuppences, really, except maybe their short stories. Those tend to be a little bit more in the mystery area. But I mean, Secret Adversary, N or M, and I think the rest of the Tommy and Tuppences, they tend to be more spy-like. Also, They Came to Baghdad is another one of those kind of offbeat ones. And Passenger to Frankfurt. So, yeah. Oh, The Big Four is actually one of those offbeat ones. It was a really weird one for a Poirot, because it's like Agatha Christie wanted to write a spy story, but she wanted to have Poirot in it too, and it's just like really odd. Anyway. So I have various choices in here that I'm going to want to touch on. Also, you can integrate into the challenge some non-Agatha Christie books as long as they fit within the challenge. For example, you can read a mystery book that also has mystery in the title. The only thing that, or also has murder in the title. The rules will be in Rachel, Naomi, and Berna's videos, but the only really big thing that you need to make sure of for this challenge that you read at least one Agatha Christie. But you can have other books that either Agatha Christie has mentioned in her books or that are somehow inspired by Agatha Christie, or in this case here, one that has murder in the title to fit one of the challenges. And this is the second to last of the currently published Countess of Harley mysteries. When she finished this one, she said that she wasn't going to write anymore, which is why I hadn't read this one, because I was holding off until a rainy day. Well, lo and behold, I want to say it was earlier this year or late last year, she put out another Countess of Harley book, which I have on my Kindle. And when I went to see if the physical book had come down in price, I noted that she has another book on pre-order. So apparently her initial decision to stop at this book, she changed her mind, which is awesome. Janelle got me into this series. I think what was her channel name? Janelle. I'm sorry, I can see her in my mind's eye, but I can't remember her channel name. She died, I want to say it was about 2 years ago. The last Agatha Christie read-along, there was a challenge about books that she enjoyed because she loved this read-along. But she got me into this series, which has been an amazing experience. So, yeah, I will start reading this one. This should be a quick read. Her books always are. And the author is Diane Freeman. Also, I am going to be reading a book that I borrowed via Amazon Prime. They have something where you can, borrow a book and then return it through the Prime system. And it's a book where Agatha Christie and her second husband have a housekeeper who is going to be solving a mystery. So that fits in with has to do with Agatha Christie somehow, but not, just being one of her books. I don't usually like reading books where you have a known historical figure or someone who is known to be real being the protagonist. But it sounds like, wow, Agatha Christie is there. She's not the mover and shaker in this story. It sounds like your actual detective is Agatha Christie's housekeeper. So I didn't buy it. I'll just be, reading it for free. So if I don't like it, I just won't finish it. It was enough to be like, oh, this fits this challenge. Why not? And then I've been meaning to read this for a while. This is the biography that her daughter approved. The only one of the approved biographies, at least at that time. I don't know if she approved any since then. And this is by Janet Morgan. It was written it was published in 1985, although the copyright is 1984. And I'm now in the second chapter, so I'm not very far along. I love the unevenness of the pages. Who knows if I'll actually finish this one before the allotted time. It's 378 pages. I just wanted to start it. I'll just be reading it here and there. I'm not really anticipating finishing this one before that. It's probably not going to happen. But it's, worth a shot sliding it in here and there. But I'm enjoying it so far. I also got a few other book suggestions off of it. There's a couple that talk about her writing. One is A Talent to Deceive by Robert Bernard, and is a study of her writing, which just looks really cool. It was put out in 1980. And then Gordon C. Ramsay's Agatha Christie, Mistress of Mystery, which was put out in 1972. And it not only looks at her work, but apparently Agatha Christie examined the book before he published it, So yeah, I look forward to those coming in, and I won't necessarily read them this year, but if you've watched this channel, you know that I do enjoy books that are literary examinations. I've read several about Jane Austen. I have one for Louisa May Alcott. Now I have a couple for Agatha Christie. I like books that talk about books. I like books that talk about writing. I like books that talk about creativity. So I did find, although not for a price enough to tempt me, one called, it was also mentioned here, Agatha Christie cover story, and it's about the jacket designs for some of her paperbacks. And if you've seen some of her paperbacks, there's some pretty wild designs for some of them, and I'll have to bring my book journal over at some point, or maybe I'll pause this video and grab it, where there are some pretty crazy cover designs. And actually I'll grab that, and that'll be how I'll end this video. So the best way to showcase this will actually be on cards on the table, and I don't know why let me turn this camera around, so let me pause this. So as you can see, these are some different covers. I just put a bunch of the covers for cards on the table to be like a hand of cards. You can see that is a Spanish cover. A bunch of the normal covers here. Some of these are completely hidden. This here is a book cover. This one was just odd. This is one of those odd ones I was talking about, where you have a ferret like stabbed. Wish we could have seen this one a bit better, but I only had so much space. This one was so odd. Apparently this guy, this particular artist, was just known for his completely wackadoo covers. And I don't know the artist. I'm going to have to probably get the book on the cover art because it's just so crazy. This one also, not counting these bridge cards which I added in, this is also a cover, another cover of cards on the table. So, whoopsie, sorry. A lot of times what I do, because there's so many covers for Agatha Christie's books, because she's one of the best-selling authors ever. So she has had so many covers over the years from so many different publishers. So like, for example, this is a cover from one book. This is a cover from another book, part of a cover. I've done some fussy cutting. Part of a cover from another book. I really liked that one. Actually, the covers for Ordeal by Innocence were really cool. That's one from Fontana Books. This one actually, not really quite sure who this is meant to be. It's one of those ones where it looks like it should work if you didn't know the actual, story. This one was cool. What is under the water? What's at the bottom of the iceberg kind of thing. And yeah, these three covers are probably my favorite though, of the ones for this book. There were not quite as many for They Came to Baghdad. It came from this collection, Dame Agatha Abroad. This was one cover. I think this is the cover I had back when I had the paperback. And then this is another one. Murder Mesopotamia, some of the covers made no sense for it. But these are the ones that made the most sense. I think this is the cover I might have had. This is back when I had the paperback. This is my current collection I have it in. This is part of a cover. This is another part of a cover. These are just some stamps that I got for, ancient Greece. I loved these. It was so hard to choose covers from River on the Orient Express. So this was, again, it came from this collection, the Dame Agatha Abroad. I thought that we needed to have one with the snowdrift. I love this ticket, which is part of one cover. And actually there was another part of that ticket that I cut off. And I think that ticket actually said the title of the book on it, but I didn't need that, so I cut it away. And then here is, I love this one. I think I did trim quite a bit because I didn't need the whole cover, but I thought this was a really cool part of the cover. Now, I was almost able to pick up a bunch of books by this publisher with they have some very unique covers, and they all kind of have this feel to them. And I had the opportunity to pick up a bunch of them, but I had quite a few of them, and I really didn't want to pick up a bunch of paperback Agatha Christie's. And honestly, I wish that I had taken advantage of more of the different covers for Appointment with Death, because there truly are cool covers for Appointment with Death. This is another cover, part of another cover. Here's another part of a cover. This is the cover I had back when I had the paperback. This one was fun. I seem to remember showing this one before. This is the cover that if I had it, I would have had this one in paperback. This is part of a cover. I thought this was cool, where you have the image of someone in the key. And then this one I thought was cool. And there were a lot of cool ones for at Bertram's Hotel. It was kind of hard to choose. And I do regret the fact that I hadn't really looked on Pinterest for the ABC Murders covers, because there are actually a lot of cool covers that I missed. I need to be more careful with this book because it looks like it's getting a little bit worn. I'm just getting towards the end of the book. I'll eventually have to start a new one. The last one to make my point about the different color covers. I think there's next two. This is the cover I would have owned for the Moving Finger. So this is another cover, as is this one. This is along the lines of that one from at Bertram's Hotel, although Bertram's Hotel was in the little key fob or keychain. This is in the keyhole. So I thought this was I wouldn't have minded having the collection of books with these covers, because they're kind of noir-y in feel. This is a different cover here, then here's another different cover, and yet another one here. So there was a lot to choose from for Moving Finger. And there were still other cool ones that I didn't go with. Okay, I think this is the last one that I really wanted to show. Actually, Death in the Clouds comes after this. Let's just do quickly Death in the Clouds and undo the other one. This comes from one cover for Death on the Clouds. This comes from another one. Yet another one. I'm not quite sure which is the cover I owned. I think it might have been the one with this here, but I'm not sure. Another cover. This one actually isn't even in English. Then got this one here. The other title for Death in the Clouds, which is Death in the Air. Oh, and I like this one here. Her in the compact. But the final one, which I'm really happy with, is some of the covers for 450 to Paddington, which is also what Mrs. McGillicuddy saw. So there's this one with the clock, then that one from Mrs. McGillicuddy. I don't think I actually owned this one in paperback. Then it's 450 to Paddington. I like that. There was a couple different covers that were very similar to this one. This, again, remember the one that I showed with, okay, there's a couple covers that this remind me of. Either the Murder on the Orient Express one where you have the ticket, but it also makes me think of the two noir ones I showed you earlier with the key hole and the little key fob type thing. Okay, actually, I did own 450 Paddington. I owned this cover. And I really like this cover here. 450 Paddington had some really cool covers. Here's another one I just took from part of the cover. Just fussy cut that. And then here's a different cover I cut off. So I'm going to stop this and turn it back around. Okay, so I think that's all I wanted to show about the different kind of covers. maybe eventually I will pick up the book that just has a bunch of the covers of Agatha Christie's books and talks about them, but at this point, not going to be an expense that I make. I do also want to quickly show my Agatha Christie magnetic bookmarks that I have. These are put out by Petite Creations. Probably saying it wrong. It's an Italian, it's a shop on Etsy that is based in Italy, if I remember correctly. And actually surprised, funny enough, the book on the back end of here is Murder at the Vicarage, which is our group read for this year's Along. But here's my Miss Marple, my Miss Marple magnetic bookmark. And here's the back end. And then I don't know where all my other Poirot ones are. They're probably in one of my other books, or a couple of my other books. But here's the one that I was able to find. So here's his, and on the other end, it's Murder on the Orient Express. Just need to make sure I marked it the right place. Okay, there we go. So yeah, I just noticed that for Poirot's, you have a map up here, whereas Miss Marple just has green. I'm wondering if that's like for her garden or whatever. But yeah, this has been a bit of a broken up video. I didn't intend to do one that was nearly this long. I will have book haul video later on, not before this Along is over. And I also will have I was tagged in a couple of book tags that I haven't been able to sit down and focus on. Once Christie's Missing Readathon is done, then I'll be able to think about the book tags as well. But I also need to think about finishing The Great Bridge, which need to pick up the pace a little bit on. And I have, I think, a couple of other books that I want to finish. I have a whole checklist that I'll try to remember to bring and show y'all when this Christie's Missing Readathon is done. Anyway, that's enough for now. I need to go ahead and get back to reading. If you're taking part in the Christie's Missing Readathon as well, yay. Let's all have fun reading Agatha Christie. And I will see y'all the next time that I'm able to record, which will be after December 14th. So like December 15th and after, some point there. So see you after that point. God bless. Bye.